Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, we're diving straight into our golf ball lab test of the Titleist TS300 Mini Driver. We are looking specifically at how this club is engineered to transfer the absolute highest possible energy from the club face directly to the ball. Today, we're putting this highly talked about club through the absolute ringer, our full rigorous lab protocol. We're talking driver speed testing, iron comparisons, putting surface checks, the whole shebang, plus actual on-course play. If you're playing courses with incredibly narrow landing areas, or, if you just flat out struggle to keep your long irons in the air, what we unpack today might literally be the exact missing piece in your golf bag. Let's start right out of the gate with this. The Titleist GTS300 Mini Driver just added 15 yards on average to our fairway shots without losing a single degree of accuracy. We tested it head-to-head against both a standard driver and a traditional 3-wood, and I gotta tell you, the numbers we got back completely surprised us. So let's look at the physical specs first, because really, understanding the build is totally crucial to understanding the data. The Titleist GTS300 features a 300cc titanium head with a 15.2-degree loft. It's built specifically for players who want more forgiveness and a significantly higher launch than a long iron can offer, but, and this is absolutely crucial, less spin than a traditional 3-wood. Check out the neutral center of gravity design. That's precisely what helps launch the ball high without that ballooning, excessive spin that just absolutely kills your distance. Titleist claims this delivers the exact same premium feel as their larger GT drivers, just, in a more compact, controllable package. But why do we even need this club in the first place? Well, mini drivers have absolutely exploded in popularity recently, and here's why. Think about that massive, super frustrating 25 to 40-yard drop-off gap that most average golfers experience when they switch from their driver down to their 3-wood. Think about the lost time you were, say, 230 yards out. Your driver's way too much club, and it's nearly impossible to hit off the deck anyway. Your 3-wood? Maybe you hit it 200 yards if you catch it absolutely perfectly. You are giving up a ton of real estate there. A well-designed mini driver like the GTS300 is specifically engineered to sit right in the middle of that gap. It cuts that distance penalty right in half and gives you a really reliable weapon. Okay, let's get into the actual launch monitor data and see how it performs. Starting at a very relatable 92 miles per hour club speed, the Titleist GTS300 averaged 148 yards of pure carry distance. Now compare that directly to our stock 3-wood at that exact same 92 mile per hour swing speed, which came in at 142 yards. That is 6 extra yards of pure carry distance. Now, that might not sound like a mile, but out on the course, those 6 yards can literally be the exact difference between safely clearing a front bunker and plugging right into the lip. The why behind that extra distance really comes down to spin control. At that same 92 miles per hour, the GTS300 is producing 2,950 RPM of spin. Compare that directly to the 3-wood, which is spinning up at 3,400 RPM. It's noticeably less spin, and honestly, that is exactly what you as a golfer need when you're trying to hold the green from 200 plus yards out. You want a penetrating ball flight that isn't going to get eaten up by a headwind, but one that still climbs high enough to land softly and stop dead on firm greens. All right, so we've seen the pristine lab numbers, but what happens when you introduce actual turf interaction, wind, and real-world pressure? We took the Titleist GTS300 Mini Driver out to a tight, heavily tree-lined course and hit 40 shots from both the tee and the fairway. Now, what's really interesting here, and what surprised us more than anything during this on-course test, boom, the fairway hit percentage reveals a massive retention of accuracy. Imagine standing on a 380-yard par 4, out of bounds left, heavy timber on the right. Pulling the big driver feels super risky, right? Well, off the tee, the GTS300 averaged 235 yards total distance. That's 12 yards longer than our 3-wood and just 8 yards shorter than the big driver. But the accuracy metric is where this thing absolutely shines. The fairway hit percentage jumped from a sketchy 48% with the driver, past the 55% with the 3-wood, all the way up to an incredible 62% with the GTS300. It absolutely outperformed both other clubs in keeping you safe in the short grass. Oh, and on approach shots from 210 yards, it stopped the ball 18 feet closer to the pin on average than the 3-wood, simply because of that lower spin. Even out of the rough, that smaller head cut through the thick grass way better than we expected. Let's walk through the full lab data matrix systematically so you can find exactly where your unique game fits into these numbers. We ran 150 total shots across 3 distinct swing speeds. For players swinging at 85 miles per hour, the GTS300 produced 132 yards of carry at 3,050 RPM of spin. Now moving over to the middle column at the 92 mile per hour mark, we saw 148 yards of carry at 2,950 RPM. And finally, for our faster swingers at 105 miles per hour, we recorded 168 yards of carry with a spin rate of 3,150 RPM. This data proves that the ball flight stays penetrating across the board. It scales perfectly, whether you have a smooth, controlled tempo or a highly aggressive swing. Now, we absolutely have to talk about forgiveness and dispersion rates, because this right here is where you actually save strokes on your scorecard. The GTS300 gave us a remarkably tight dispersion of just 18 yards left to right at our 92 mile per hour baseline. Contrast that directly with a 24-yard dispersion window with a standard driver. That means your misses are fundamentally tighter. The smaller face is surprisingly forgiving on toe and heel strikes. In fact, our data proved that those off-center hits still carried within 10 yards of a dead center strike. To get that level of forgiveness in a smaller package, that is some serious engineering. So let's move into our final verdict setup. We've gone through the launch monitor numbers, we've seen the real-world on-course fairway percentages, we've analyzed the spin rates, the tight dispersion data across multiple swing speeds. The key takeaway from all of this really boils down to one thing: finding the absolute best combination of distance and control. This is specifically vital for mid-handicap golfers who desperately want to reach those par 5s and 2, but simply cannot afford to be spraying the ball into the trees off the tee. Our verdict is clear. If your swing speed is under 100 miles per hour and you play a lot of tight courses, this is a clear buy. It is the definitive winner for mid-handicap golfers needing more fairways. If you're a 5 handicap or lower and you swing over 105 miles per hour, skip this off the tee. Stick with your driver for maximum yards and maybe just keep the GTS300 as a situational 210-yard fairway weapon. For seniors or players under 85 miles per hour, this adds the height and forgiveness you've been missing. Data, not opinion. So here's my question for you today. Take a quick mental inventory of your own bag right now. What club are you currently pulling when you are staring down a 200 to 230 yard shot? And have you ever actually tried putting a mini driver in that slot? I really want to hear from you. Drop your current setup in the comments below. I read every single one, and I love seeing how different players tackle that highly specific, highly frustrating yardage gap. If this explainer helps you stop guessing and start knowing exactly which club to pull, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now so you never waste your hard-earned money on the wrong equipment again. We test and break down the data on new gear constantly. Next up, we're putting this Titleist GT300 Mini Driver right into the ring against the tailor-made Q35 Mini Driver in our next head-to-head explainer. And spoiler alert, the spin numbers in that matchup are going to completely shock you. You definitely won't want to miss that analysis. Keep swinging smart, and I'll see you in the next